LeBron James is a man who's had to overcome tremendous bullying in his rise to success. Although many athletes have been harassed for things like their height, their weight, having the name Peyton, all of these instances have one thing in common: greatness. But this is the story of the greatest comeback in NBA history: LeBron's hairline. Before you know the hair, you need to know the man, the Smith, the legend. LeBron tattooed himself with the Chosen One as a symbol of respect to the real Chosen One, J.R. Smith. King J.R. was pleased by LeBron's sacrifice, and thus gifted him incredible ability and riches. As a son of the great philosopher Jaden Smith, King J.R. knew he had to be a wise and fair king to live up to the family name. So to keep things balanced, King J.R. gave LeBron the harshest curse a basketball player could ever receive: a cursed hairline. Despite the follicle setback, LeBron's gifts began to show more than his curse, and it wasn't long before LeBron started calling himself the king. This angered the real king, J.R. Smith, who finally decided that the hairline curse wasn't enough. In the final moments of the Game 1 championship, the game was neck and neck, when all of a sudden, J.R. took the ball away and exchanged it for a bottle of Hennessy, as LeBron was defeated once again by the great J.R. Smith. But King J.R. didn't stop there. LeBron thought he was free of the hairline curse when he moved to LA, but he couldn't be more wrong. Determined to make an example of LeBron for questioning his power, King J.R. summoned the spirits of the Smith dynasty to loosen the hairs of LeBron's fresh fade.
That cannot happen. That's not a winning culture.
The homies tried to help him out, but it was already too late to stop the king's curse.
Hair loss is punishment for having everything else in life. I tell him you can't have everything, JR says.
When the hairline curse reappeared, the fans were simply devastated. The man they'd always seen as their hero didn't have a perfect hairline.
He's one of our own. That's what makes it so painful.
How can we not feel hurt? Dude went from young Kobe to George Jefferson without even asking us how we feel about it.
LeBron?
Why can't I just Velcro this off whoosh, and just put it on top of here?
It was at exactly that moment that I knew that it wasn't just his hairline that was broken. It was his spirit. We just take a second. LeBron only had one option left to overthrow King JR and reclaim his heir to the throne. And that was to take JR's sacred Hennessy. After years of researching J.R. Smith's powers, I finally realized that they were fueled by Hennessy. And that's when I had to let LeBron know the secret. If you take away his Hennessy, you take back your hairline. You understand what I'm saying? The moment that Hennessy is gone is the moment your hairline is back. It seemed like any other night in Cleveland. But at this very moment, LeBron James was about to enact the greatest comeback in NBA history. Pause the tape right there. Enhance. Hennessy, which, as we know, is the sacred elixir that gives J.R. Smith his powers. Resume. Seems like a normal handshake, right? Wrong. Pause the tape. The Hennessy is vulnerable, and so is JR's position as king. LeBron has spent his entire life training for this moment. Resume. Boom, LeBron takes the Hennessy, sleight of hand, thereby lifting the hairline curse and solidifying the greatest comeback in NBA history. But this isn't just a victory for LeBron's hairline. This is a victory for humanity. The fear of losing our hair stems from a deeper fear of losing our identity. Though it may not be the same hair he had naturally when he was younger, the story of LeBron's hairline can lead us to slow down and realize that in some way, shape, or form, the treasured parts of ourselves that we fear we've lost can always make a comeback.